Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about a powerful topic: billionaires' brain secrets. Many people think billionaires become successful only because of money, luck, or family background. But the truth is much deeper. Before a person becomes rich in life, they often become rich in mindset. They think differently. They plan differently. They see problems differently. They make decisions differently. And that is why their results become different. This video is not only about money, it is about mindset, discipline, growth, and success thinking. As you listen, you will also improve your English. Pay attention to the words, sentence patterns, and ideas. Listen carefully and try to think in English while learning these powerful life lessons. And if you enjoy learning English through motivational and educational videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English and your mindset every day. Secret 1. Think long-term, not short-term. One of the biggest differences between ordinary thinking and billionaire thinking is time. Most people think about today. Billionaires think about years. Most people think about quick comfort. Billionaires think about long-term growth. Most people ask, what can I get right now? Billionaires ask, what can this become in 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years? This is a powerful difference. Short-term thinking gives quick pleasure. Long-term thinking creates real success. Imagine two people. The first person gets money and immediately spends it on things that give temporary happiness: new clothes, new gadgets, expensive food, unnecessary shopping. They feel good for a short time, but after a few days, the excitement disappears. The money is gone. The future has not improved. The second person gets money and thinks differently. They ask, how can I use this money to improve my future? They may invest in a skill. They may buy books. They may save. They may start something small. They may use that money to create more opportunities. At first, the second person may not look impressive. They may not show off. They may not get quick attention, but slowly, their life starts changing. 1 year later, there is a small difference. 5 years later, there is a big difference. 10 years later, there is a massive difference. That is the power of long-term thinking. Long-term thinking is not exciting every day. Sometimes it feels boring. Sometimes it feels slow. Sometimes it feels difficult, but it works. Most great things in life are built slowly. A strong body is not built in one workout. Fluent English is not built in one day. A successful business is not built in 1 week. A strong mind is not built from one motivational video. Everything valuable takes time. This is why long-term thinking is so important. It teaches you patience. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you to make better choices. It teaches you to stop destroying your future for small pleasures today. Think about learning English. A short-term thinker says, I want to speak fluent English quickly. They practice for 2 days, then they stop. They watch one video, then they quit. They want instant results. But when results do not come immediately, they feel disappointed. A long-term thinker says, I will practice every day, even if the progress is slow. They listen every day. They read every day. They speak a little every day. They make mistakes and continue. They do not expect magic. They expect growth. After months and years, they become confident. This is how success works. Small actions repeated for a long time create big results. Billionaires understand this principle deeply. They know that every decision is a seed. Some seeds grow into problems. Some seeds grow into success. When you waste time every day, you are planting seeds of regret. When you learn every day, you are planting seeds of growth. When you save money, build skills, and stay disciplined, you are planting seeds of freedom. The question is, what kind of seeds are you planting today? Because your future is not created suddenly. Your future is created by your daily choices. Many people want a better life, but they keep making choices that only serve the present moment. They want health. They want money, but they waste it. They want English fluency, but they do not practice. They want success, but they choose comfort again and again. Then they wonder why life does not change. The truth is simple. Your future is built by what you do repeatedly, not what you do once, not what you say, not what you plan, what you do every day. Long-term thinking helps you ask better questions. Before wasting time, ask, will this help my future? Before spending money, ask, is this useful or just for showing off? Before giving up, ask, how will I feel 1 year from now if I quit today? Before choosing comfort, ask, is this making me stronger or weaker? These questions can change your life because success often comes from better decisions, and better decisions come from better thinking. Short-term thinking is emotional. It says, I want it now. Long-term thinking is wise. It says, I want something better later. Short-term thinking looks for pleasure. Long-term thinking looks for progress. Short-term thinking follows feelings. Long-term thinking follows vision. This does not mean you should never enjoy life. Enjoyment is important. Rest is important. Happiness is important. But you should not sacrifice your future for every temporary desire. A successful life needs balance. Enjoy today, but do not destroy tomorrow. Rest today, but do not quit your goals. Have fun, but do not forget your future. This is how powerful people think. They understand that patience is not weakness. Patience is strength. They understand that discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your future from your temporary emotions. If you want to think like a successful person, start thinking long-term. Do not ask only, what feels good now? Ask, what will make my life better later? Do not ask only, what is easy today? Ask, what will make me proud tomorrow? Do not ask only, how can I avoid hard work? Ask, how can this hard work change my future? Short-term comfort often creates long-term regret. Long-term discipline often creates lifelong freedom. So think bigger, think further, think deeper. Make decisions your future self will thank you for. Because the billionaire brain does not only chase what looks good today, it builds what will become powerful tomorrow. Secret 2. Focus on opportunities, not problems. One of the most powerful billionaire brain secrets is this. They focus on opportunities, not problems. This does not mean they ignore problems. It does not mean they pretend difficulties do not exist. It simply means they refuse to let problems control their thinking. Most people spend their lives staring at obstacles. Successful people spend their lives searching for possibilities. Think about this for a moment. Every person faces problems. Rich people have problems. Poor people have problems. Business owners have problems. Employees have problems. Students have problems. Parents have problems. Nobody escapes challenges. The difference is not who has problems. The difference is what people focus on. Imagine two people standing in the same situation. The first person immediately notices everything that is wrong. They say, the economy is bad. The competition is too strong. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough support. I don't have enough time. Everywhere they look, they see limitations. As a result, they become discouraged. They become inactive. They become trapped. Now imagine the second person. They see the same situation. They see the same challenges, but they ask different questions. What opportunity exists here? What can I learn from this? How can I improve? What solution can I create? What advantage can I find? Notice the difference. The first person sees walls. The second person sees doors. The situation is the same. The thinking is different, and thinking determines results. One reason billionaires become successful is because they train their minds to search for opportunities automatically. Most people train their minds to search for problems. Whatever you search for, you usually find. If you spend all day looking for reasons why something cannot work, you will find many reasons. If you spend all day looking for possibilities, you will discover possibilities. Your focus shapes your reality. Think about learning English. Many learners focus on their weaknesses. My pronunciation is bad. My grammar is weak. My vocabulary is small. I make too many mistakes. Because they focus on these things constantly, they lose confidence. They become afraid to speak. They become afraid to practice. Eventually, some stop learning altogether. A different learner thinks differently. They say, every mistake is helping me improve. Every new word is progress. Every conversation is practice. Every day, I am becoming better. This learner focuses on growth opportunities. And because of that mindset, they continue improving. The same principle applies to business. Many successful companies were born during difficult times. While most people were focused on problems, a few people were focused on opportunities. While others were complaining, they were creating. While others were afraid, they were preparing. While others were waiting, they were acting. History is full of examples like this. The people who achieve extraordinary things are often the people who see opportunities where others see obstacles. Imagine a farmer. One year, a drought arrives. Many people panic. Many people complain. Many people lose hope. The farmer who succeeds is often the one who starts looking for solutions immediately. Maybe they change their methods. Maybe they find new ways to conserve water. Maybe they adapt. The challenge remains difficult, but their focus shifts toward possibility instead of helplessness. This is how powerful people think. They understand something important. Every problem contains a lesson. Every challenge contains an opportunity. Every setback contains valuable information. Every failure contains a chance to grow. Many people fear failure because they think failure is the opposite of success. But successful people understand that failure is often part of success. When a business idea fails, they learn. When a plan fails, they adjust. When a strategy fails, they improve. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What can this teach me?" That simple question can change your life, because learning transforms pain into progress. Another reason billionaires focus on opportunities is because opportunities often hide inside problems. Think about some of the world's most successful businesses. Many of them started because someone noticed a problem. Then they created a solution. The problem became the opportunity. Without the problem, the opportunity would not exist. This is a powerful way to think. Instead of becoming frustrated by every challenge, start asking, what opportunity is hiding here? At first, this may feel difficult because the human brain naturally notices danger and problems. It is a survival mechanism, but successful people train themselves to look beyond the problem. They train themselves to look for possibilities. This habit becomes stronger with practice. Every day you can choose your focus. You can focus on what is missing, or you can focus on what is possible. You can focus on limitations, or you can focus on opportunities. You can focus on fear, or you can focus on growth. The choice belongs to you. Imagine waking up every morning and asking, what opportunities can I create today? That single question changes your mindset. Instead of becoming a victim of circumstances, you become a creator of possibilities. Instead of waiting for life to improve, you start improving your life. This is one of the greatest powers of opportunity-focused thinking. It gives you energy. It gives you hope. It gives you direction. People who focus only on problems often feel stuck. People who focus on opportunities feel empowered, because opportunities point toward action, and action creates results. Think about your own life. There are probably challenges you are facing right now. Maybe your English is not where you want it to be. Maybe your finances are not where you want them to be. Maybe your confidence is not where you want it to be. You can spend all your energy focusing on those problems. Or you can ask, what opportunity exists inside this situation? What skill can I develop? What lesson can I learn? What action can I take today? Those questions create movement, and movement creates growth. Most people see what is wrong. Successful people see what is possible. Most people focus on obstacles. Successful people focus on opportunities. Most people stop when problems appear. Successful people look for solutions. So train your mind to see possibilities. Train your mind to search for opportunities. Train your mind to look beyond the obstacle. Because opportunities are often invisible to people who are obsessed with problems. And the people who learn to see opportunities are often the people who build extraordinary lives. Secret 3. The power of visualization. One of the most fascinating habits shared by many highly successful people is visualization. Before they achieve something in reality, they often see it clearly in their minds. This does not mean they sit around dreaming all day. It does not mean they simply imagine success and wait for it to happen. Visualization is much more powerful than that. Visualization is the practice of mentally seeing your future before it becomes real. It is creating a clear picture of the person you want to become, the life you want to build, the goals you want to achieve, the skills you want to develop. Many people spend their lives focusing on their current situation. Successful people often focus on their future possibilities. Imagine a person learning English. Every day they tell themselves, "My English is terrible. I will never become fluent. I am not good enough." These thoughts create a negative picture in their mind. As a result, their confidence becomes weaker. Their motivation becomes weaker. Their effort becomes weaker. Now imagine another learner. Every day they visualize themselves speaking English confidently. They imagine having conversations. They imagine understanding movies. They imagine traveling and communicating easily. They imagine themselves improving. This mental picture creates a completely different attitude. It creates belief. It creates energy. It creates determination. The mind is incredibly powerful. Your actions often follow your beliefs, and your beliefs are influenced by the pictures you repeatedly create in your mind. This is why visualization can be so valuable. Athletes use it. Business leaders use it. Public speakers use it. Many successful people use it. Before a competition, athletes often imagine themselves performing successfully. Before an important presentation, speakers often imagine themselves speaking confidently. Before building a business, entrepreneurs often imagine the future they want to create. Why? Because the mind performs better when it has a clear direction. Imagine driving to a place you have never visited. A map helps you reach your destination. Visualization acts like a mental map. It reminds you where you are going. It keeps your attention focused on your goals. Many people have goals. Very few people create a vivid picture of those goals. That is why they lose focus. That is why they become distracted. That is why they quit. Successful people constantly remind themselves of their vision. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly. They know where they are going. And because they know where they are going, their daily decisions become easier. Visualization is not magic, it is preparation. It prepares your mind for the future you want to create. But there is something important to remember. Visualization without action is useless. You cannot simply imagine success. You must work for it. You must learn. You must practice. You must stay disciplined. Visualization gives you direction. Action moves you forward. Both are necessary. First, you see it in your mind. Then, you build it in reality. Great achievements are often created twice, once in the imagination and once in the real world. Secret 4. Reading books. One of the most common habits among successful people is reading. Many billionaires spend years learning through books. Why? Because books allow you to learn from experiences that are not your own. Think about this. A person may spend 20 years learning an important lesson. They write a book about it. You can learn that lesson in a few days. That is powerful. Books give you access to knowledge, wisdom, experience, ideas, strategies, lessons, and perspectives from people all over the world. Most people spend their free time consuming entertainment. Successful people often spend part of their free time consuming knowledge. This does not mean they never relax. It simply means they understand the value of learning. Imagine two people. One person spends 5 years reading books about communication, business, psychology, leadership, health, and personal growth. The other person spends 5 years doing none of those things. Who do you think will have a broader understanding of life? Who will make better decisions? Who will have more useful knowledge? The answer is obvious. Knowledge compounds, just like money. One book may not change your life, but 100 books can completely transform the way you think. Reading develops your mind. It exposes you to new ideas. It challenges old beliefs. It teaches you how successful people think. It helps you avoid mistakes. It introduces you to concepts you may never have discovered on your own. Think about learning English. Reading books improves vocabulary. Reading books improves grammar. Reading books improves comprehension. Reading books improves writing. Every page teaches something, even when you do not realize it. The beautiful thing about books is that they are patient teachers. You can read slowly. You can reread important sections. You can learn at your own pace. You can return whenever you need guidance. Many people say they do not have time to read, but successful people often see reading differently. They do not view it as an expense of time. They view it as an investment, because the knowledge you gain can stay with you for the rest of your life. Imagine reading 10 pages a day. That may not sound impressive, but over 1 year, those pages become multiple books. Those books become knowledge. That knowledge becomes better decisions. Those better decisions can create a completely different future. This is how growth often happens. Not through one dramatic event, but through small daily habits. Reading is one of those habits. Another benefit of reading is perspective. Books allow you to see the world through different eyes. You learn how other people think. You learn how other people solve problems. You learn how other people overcome challenges. This expands your understanding of life. And expanded thinking often leads to expanded opportunities. Many people want better results, but they keep thinking the same thoughts. Reading introduces new thoughts, new ideas, new possibilities. That is why it is so valuable. A single idea from a book can change the direction of your life. A single lesson can save years of mistakes. A single insight can create a breakthrough. This is why successful people often become lifelong learners. They understand that growth never stops. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And reading is one of the best ways to keep growing. The person you become tomorrow depends on what you learn today. Books are not just pages. They are lessons. They are mentors. They are experiences. They are opportunities to grow. Read consistently. Learn constantly. And let knowledge become one of your greatest advantages in life. Secret 5. Protect your time like your money. If you ask most people what their most valuable asset is, many will say money. But billionaires often understand something deeper. Money is valuable, but time is even more valuable. Why? Because lost money can be earned again. Lost time can never be recovered. Once a day is gone, it is gone forever. Once an hour passes, you can never get it back. This is why successful people treat time with incredible respect. They understand that every hour of their life is an investment, and they are careful about where they invest it. Think about how people treat money. Most people would never throw large amounts of money into the trash. They would never casually give away their savings. They would never spend thousands of dollars without thinking. Yet many people waste hours every day without even noticing. Hours on meaningless activities. Hours on distractions. Hours on things that add no value to their future. Over time, these wasted hours become wasted weeks. Those weeks become wasted months. Those months become wasted years. And years can change an entire life. Imagine two people who are both given 24 hours every day. The first person spends most of their free time scrolling endlessly, complaining, gossiping, and avoiding growth. The second person spends part of their free time learning, reading, exercising, practicing skills, and improving themselves. 5 years later, their lives may look completely different. The difference was not the number of hours they had. The difference was how they used those hours. This is one of the greatest billionaire brain secrets. Successful people constantly ask themselves, is this worth my time? Is this helping my future? Is this moving me closer to my goals? These questions help them make better decisions. Think about learning English. Many learners say, I don't have enough time, but then they spend hours every week on activities that do not help them grow. Even 20 minutes a day can create powerful results over time. 20 minutes a day becomes more than 100 hours a year. That is enough time to make significant progress. The problem is often not a lack of time. The problem is a lack of priorities. Successful people understand priorities. They know they cannot do everything, so they focus on what matters most. Another important lesson is learning to say no. Many people waste time because they say yes to everything. They say yes to distractions. They say yes to activities they do not care about. They say yes to things that steal their focus. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something important. This is why protecting your time requires discipline. It requires making difficult choices. It requires understanding that not every opportunity deserves your attention. Think about a garden. If you allow weeds to grow everywhere, they will eventually take over. Your time works the same way. If you allow distractions to grow everywhere, they will consume your life. Protecting your time means removing the weeds, removing unnecessary distractions, removing habits that steal your future, and focusing on activities that create growth. Remember this powerful truth: money can be replaced, time cannot. Spend your time wisely, invest it carefully, protect it fiercely, because your future is built from how you spend your days. Secret 6. Never stop learning. One of the most dangerous beliefs a person can have is, I already know enough. The moment people stop learning, they stop growing. The moment they stop growing, they begin falling behind. Successful people understand that learning is a lifelong process. No matter how much they achieve, they remain students. No matter how much they know, they continue learning. This is one of the biggest reasons they continue improving. Think about the world around you. Technology changes, industries change, opportunities change, skills change, knowledge changes. The world is constantly moving forward. If you stop learning, the world keeps moving without you. Imagine a person who stops learning at the age of 25. Now imagine another person who continues learning for the next 30 years. Who do you think will have more knowledge, more skills, more opportunities, more confidence? The answer is obvious. Growth belongs to learners. This is why many successful people read books regularly, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, study new ideas, learn new skills, ask questions, stay curious. Curiosity is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop. Curious people see learning everywhere. They learn from books. They learn from conversations. They learn from mistakes. They learn from failures. They learn from successes. Every experience becomes a teacher. Many people see failure as something negative. Lifelong learners see failure differently. They see it as information. They ask, what can this teach me? How can I improve? What should I do differently next time? This mindset transforms setbacks into lessons, and lessons become growth. Think about learning English. The students who improve the fastest are often not the smartest students. They are the most curious students. They ask questions. They explore new words. They practice regularly. They stay interested. Because curiosity creates learning, and learning creates progress. Another reason successful people never stop learning is that learning creates opportunities. Every new skill opens a new door. Every new piece of knowledge creates a new possibility. Every lesson expands your potential. Many people wait for opportunities. Successful people often create opportunities through learning. They become more valuable, more skilled, more knowledgeable, and those qualities attract opportunities. Imagine learning one useful skill every year. After 10 years, you would be a completely different person. Your knowledge would be different. Your abilities would be different. Your confidence would be different. Your future would be different. That is the power of continuous learning. Small lessons accumulate. Small improvements accumulate. Small skills accumulate. And over time, they create extraordinary results. Never assume you know everything. Never assume growth is finished. Never assume learning has ended. Because the most successful people in the world often remain some of the most curious people in the world. Remember this powerful truth. The more you learn, the more you earn. The more you grow, the more opportunities you create. And the moment you stop learning is the moment you stop becoming the person you could have been. Stay curious, stay humble, stay teachable, and never stop learning. Secret 7. Make decisions based on logic, not emotions. One of the biggest differences between highly successful people and average people is how they make decisions. Most people make decisions based on emotions. Successful people learn how to use logic. This does not mean successful people have no emotions. They feel fear. They feel excitement. They feel disappointment. They feel frustration. They feel happiness. They are human just like everyone else. The difference is that they do not allow temporary emotions to control important decisions. Think about how many bad decisions are made because of emotions. People spend money because they feel excited. People quit because they feel discouraged. People give up because they feel afraid. People argue because they feel angry. People avoid opportunities because they feel uncomfortable. In each case, emotions become the driver, and emotions can change quickly. What feels right today may feel wrong tomorrow. That is why successful people learn to pause before making important decisions. Imagine a business owner facing a difficult situation. Sales are down. Problems are appearing. Stress is increasing. An emotional decision might be to panic, to quit, to make rushed choices, to react without thinking. A logical decision is different. The logical person studies the facts. They gather information. They examine possible solutions. They remain calm. Then they make a decision. Notice the difference. One person reacts. The other responds. Reaction is emotional. Response is thoughtful. This principle applies to every area of life. Think about learning English. Many learners stop practicing because they feel frustrated. One difficult day convinces them they are not improving. One mistake convinces them they are not capable. One uncomfortable conversation makes them lose confidence. If emotions control the decision, they quit. But logic tells a different story. Logic says, every learner makes mistakes. Progress takes time. Practice creates improvement. One bad day does not define the future. Logic keeps you moving when emotions want you to stop. This is why emotional control is so valuable. When emotions are strong, successful people often delay important decisions. They know that anger, fear, and excitement can cloud judgment. Instead of acting immediately, they give themselves time to think clearly. Many people believe intelligence alone creates success, but emotional discipline is equally important. A person can have great ideas, but if they constantly make emotional decisions, those ideas may never succeed. Imagine a captain steering a ship through a storm. The waves are strong. The wind is powerful. Fear is present. If the captain allows fear to control every decision, disaster becomes likely. The captain must remain calm. The captain must focus on facts. The captain must think clearly. Life often works the same way. The ability to stay calm under pressure is a powerful advantage. Emotions are important signals, but they should not always be your leader. Feel your emotions. Understand your emotions, but let logic guide your decisions, because one wise decision can change your future. Secret 8. Take calculated risks. Most people think successful people are fearless risk takers. They imagine billionaires constantly making huge gambles. But the truth is often very different. Successful people usually do not take reckless risks. They take calculated risks. There is a big difference. A reckless risk ignores facts. A calculated risk studies facts. A reckless risk depends on luck. A calculated risk depends on preparation. A reckless risk is driven by impulse. A calculated risk is guided by strategy. This is one of the most important billionaire brain secrets. Successful people understand that growth often requires stepping outside their comfort zone, but they do not jump blindly. They prepare first. Imagine someone who wants to start a business. A reckless person might quit their job immediately, borrow money carelessly, and hope everything works out. A calculated risk taker behaves differently. They study the market. They learn new skills. They create a plan. They save money. They understand the risks. Then they move forward. Both people take risks, but one uses preparation, the other uses hope. Preparation dramatically increases the chances of success. Think about learning English. Many learners are afraid to speak because they fear mistakes. Every conversation feels risky. Every attempt feels uncomfortable. As a result, they stay silent. But staying silent also carries a risk. The risk of never improving. The risk of remaining stuck. The risk of missing opportunities. Sometimes the greatest risk is avoiding all risks. Successful people understand this. They know that growth usually exists outside the comfort zone. Every skill requires discomfort. Every achievement requires uncertainty. Every improvement requires courage. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. Falling is possible. Mistakes are likely. Fear exists. But if the child refuses to try, learning never happens. The same principle applies to life. Many opportunities require courage. Applying for a better job, starting a business, learning a new skill, speaking English, making new connections, sharing ideas. All of these involve risk, but they also involve possibility. The people who achieve extraordinary things are often willing to take calculated risks when others remain frozen by fear. Another important lesson is that successful people focus on the risk of inaction. Most people only think about what could go wrong if they act. Successful people also think about what could go wrong if they do nothing. What happens if you never learn that skill? What happens if you never take that opportunity? What happens if you never pursue that goal? Sometimes doing nothing is more dangerous than taking action. This way of thinking changes everything. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" successful people often ask, "What if I succeed? What if this works? What opportunities could this create?" These questions create courage. Not blind courage, informed courage. The kind of courage that comes from preparation. The kind of courage that creates growth. Remember that every successful person has taken risks. Not reckless risks, calculated risks. Risks supported by learning. Risks supported by preparation. Risks supported by effort. Without those risks, many achievements would never exist. Without those risks, many dreams would never become reality. Comfort rarely creates extraordinary results. Growth requires courage. Success requires action. And action often requires risk. Do not be reckless. Do not be careless. But do not allow fear to control your future. Prepare carefully. Think clearly. Then move forward with courage. Because the opportunities you want may exist just beyond the risks you are afraid to take. So think bigger. Learn constantly. Use your time wisely. Stay disciplined. Keep growing. And never stop investing in yourself. Because the most valuable asset you will ever own is not your money. It is your mind. If you enjoyed this lesson and want more videos that help you improve both your English and your mindset, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of yourself.